Okay, my loves, welcome to a special short episode of The Art of Feeling Better, my podcast where it does what it says on the tin, really, help you feel better. Maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. But my intention is to just support you into moving from where you are right now into a space where you can feel better. So I incite this meeting to rebellion. And I wanted to come on and just to share a little update for you because my work is very much based around taking slow steps, particularly if you are completely burned out, if you have lost your identity, lost your passion, your meaning, your purpose, and you don't know which way is up anymore. Slow and steady steps to recalibrate your nervous system and to balance all parts of yourself. And I use my specific medicine wheel framework, which is based on lots of ancient wisdom from cultures all over the world, including my own Celtic heritage. And it's around balancing mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Because we have 4 parts of self, and most of us haven't got a clue about that, certainly aren't looking at them. Maybe you're looking at going to the gym and your nutrition and your physical health, and the rest is falling to pieces. Perhaps you're really focused on your mental health, but the rest of it's not even on your radar. So my job is to help with all of those things, right? And usually we start off in the mental space. We have our starting point where we look at the cognitive stuff and your anxiety response, your stress response, and how that actually works and the neuroscience behind it. And we have lots of psychotherapy tools that support that particular space. Lots of people are really interested in this. It's very current, it's very credible. So I do a lot of work around that, and it's how Mojo School actually was first brought about, because I was working as a mental health specialist, very much focused on this space, top-down approach, the head removed from the body, looking at all of this stuff and how we think. But we also then need to think about physicals, right? So then once we've done that and we have a bit of understanding and we can process and think about these things, because we can't really do anything else until that bit clicks into place, then we look at the impact on the body and how the mind and the body actually connect. And we look at building in environmental safety and physical safety. We look at somatics and different things you can do, like grounding and working with your body's intelligence, building your toolkit between your mind and your body, which is a super strong place to start from. Then we are resilient enough and we are aware enough to be able to move into the next quarter, which is your emotional health. That's where a lot of people really struggle. It's where a lot of trauma is stored in the body. And it's learning to take slow, gentle steps and having some acceptance and some understanding, diving into a spot of shadow work to unpick and unpeel the layers so you can release some of that old energetic emotional imprint that's keeping you stuck and causing a lot of the issues. So these are all really important parts of what I teach and the journey that my clients take with me. And then finally, we look at this spiritual development space, right? We look at passion, purpose, identity, who you really are underneath all those layers, what it means to be human, and reconnecting with yourself, and particularly with your higher self. And we dive into the woo-woo in this space, and we keep it as general as possible so that it's suitable for all faiths. It's nothing to do with religion. But spirituality and spiritual development has really been hijacked over millennia. And we are kind of in a space where we are told what that means for us, and we're taught a specific doctrine in very different ways. And we really disconnect ourselves from our own divinity and from our own real higher consciousness. And if that's resonating with you and that's the way you enjoy looking at things and you're interested in all aspects and all perspectives, then this is the chat for you, because I do a lot of work as a Reiki master as well as a mental health practitioner around your energetic and energy anatomy and how these things really connect you in with each other as humans, with the environment, with planetary stuff that's going on, and the much, much, much bigger picture. And normally I don't do that until we've worked through the other stuff at a very self-based space, protecting the ego, looking after you as an individual point of consciousness. Then you are expanded enough to be able to understand the bigger concepts, and you are ready and willing and ready to rock with some of the bigger stuff, some of the universal principles. And you can connect that to whatever your culture is, whatever your belief system, your faith is. It all connects in, because it's just what it means to be human, right? And everybody's version of that is different. But today I wanted to dive straight in to this last piece of the puzzle. And we're going super woo-woo and energetic today because we are right on the point of the Lionsgate portal. Sounds very out there and witchy, right? But there's a real cosmic dance going on at the moment and lots of interesting things happening in a planetary perspective that have a real impact on us as little tiny human beings going through our little daily motions on this gorgeous planet. And it's really interesting how more and more people are starting to have these conversations. I've been in this space since I was about 13 years old, and I'm definitely not 13 anymore. So 30 odd years. And it's been very much repressed for me. And these conversations and some of the things around energy work and my own version of spirituality have been very much hidden in the shadows because it didn't feel safe to speak about, talk about, or, communicate. But now, and a lot of you I know are the same, it's becoming more and more of a pull, compulsion, more and more acceptable, more and more out there to be able to discuss these things. And it just fills me with joy to see so many people that are having these conversations out there in the open and not being ridiculed. And the fact that now science and spirituality are meeting in the middle, and there's lots of brand new, we're evolving, we're getting technology and we're getting brain power to be able to understand some of these abstract concepts. And it really, really fills me with a lot of hope and a lot of excitement, because some of the things that our ancestors who were persecuted and treated very badly and very violently for speaking about are now becoming common practice and commonplace. And I think that is the key to our future, if I'm perfectly honest with you, how we're going to recalibrate the planet and how we're going to continue to exist and evolve as human beings is from this space and these conversations. So I just felt pretty much compelled today to talk to you about what is coming up and the way that you can use this stuff. So 8/8/26, the 8th of August, Lionsgate. But it happens every year. We're moving into Leo season. There's a very specific energy around that. We also have an eclipse coming next week on the 12th, which is really interesting. So it's a brilliant opportunity, even if you haven't done any of the other work, and this is brand new territory for you, there's a really unique opportunity to just experiment and move into this space without judgment, if you possibly can, without feeling silly, without worrying about being ridiculed, and just have a play around with some of the things that I'm going to talk to you about, because I think you'll find that the effects are quite profound if you give them a chance. So those of you that have been doing the work, those of you that have experienced a shift, shall we call it, since 2020, that maybe have had some kind of existential crisis, have maybe been questioning their whole life, been questioning their career, their relationships, their health, what it means to be here, and what is actually going on with the structures that are meant to be supporting us. If you've been in this space for the last few years and realizing that there probably is something more than we've been led to believe, and we don't know what that is, and that the arrogance that comes from us insignificant little human creatures believing that we know everything. It just makes me laugh every time I say it. We know everything. It's all there is to know. We can prove it. We can plot it. That's safety-seeking behaviour. That is so restricted. The bandwidth of human beings. We can do this, and we have the potential that's just massive. So I like the physicists, the quantum theorists who are kind of looking at things a little bit differently and thinking, well, we don't know yet because we don't have the intelligence or the technology, but it's looking pretty likely that this is going to be provable pretty soon. And if you look back years and years ago, there's certain things that would have been absolutely laughable. People would have been locked up and lobotomized for example, being able to speak to somebody on the other side of the world without just witchcraft, impossible, delusions. I don't know a single person that doesn't do that now. So it just means we have a bit of catching up to do. And we haven't discovered things yet. It doesn't mean they don't exist. And just because you don't like something, you don't agree with something, you don't understand something, doesn't mean it isn't true. I'd like you to think about that for a second. So if you're in the space too and you haven't turned off yet and you think, this is interesting, I want to have a look at this energy malarkey and these planets that I laughed at before, because how can the planets have anything to do with us? Then you are in the right space, because if you think about the moon, our little lunar friend, The moon affects the ocean quite dramatically. The gravitational pull, the tides. We all right to accept that as a truth? It's widely documented. You can see it. And you know that our bodies are quite a high percentage of water, right? Just going to leave that there. Other cycles. Women. My hot topic at the moment. Women's cycles pretty much sync up with the lunar cycle that we're taught not to look at and is a bit silly because the planets don't do anything, right? We're the only one. We're the only important bits. Okay. All right then. I think if you are a woman and you start plotting things around the lunar cycle, you will have a lot more intel on how your body works and things that work for you and things that don't, and you'll be able to predict and plot things. Have a look, have a go, see what happens. And we can apply that to cycles and seasons of the year. There's lots of topic around the Gregorian calendar compared to calendar that I and a lot of other people follow. My pagan friends out there. 8 different celebrations of the year, all connected to the seasons and the harvests, and all have different representations of how we need to think about ourselves and the space around us. Really powerful. They've been absolute medicine for me when I've been recovering from burnout caused by misalignment and buying into the bullshit of the system. Just going to leave that there as well. Thinking differently is the topic of today. So, if you have experienced something different since 2020 in particular, maybe before that, for me it's been years and years, but a lot of people have started to shift things up to the top since that time. And especially if you've been doing some work in some way and you've been reflecting and looking at that, and I have a lot of clients at the moment that I'm working with who have been on this journey of shadow work and have been diving deep and doing incredible things, looking at some of the programs from childhood that they've been kind of running in the background, like really annoying apps that just eat all your data and your bandwidth and your battery. You forgot they were there, you don't even need them, just need to uninstall it really. And we've been doing these pieces of work and looking and reflecting and refining and going back in again and doing a bit more work, and the magic of understanding your energetic anatomy and your body's intelligence above all else. It's incredible. So now we're moving into this space where we've got Lionsgate on the 8th of August, and this opportunity for you to actually step in to your identity and to step in and really start to manifest and bring in some of the things that actually align for you. It's an opportunity not to be missed, right? It's crucial, if you ask me, for us all to be able to work on our individual stuff rather than just being distracted and looking at what does everybody else need, because I don't want to look at my own shit, I'll just fix everybody else. We can move out of that space. If you've not had a chance yet, do a little bit of journaling, a bit of inner work. What is it that's shown up for me over the last few years? What has my life been trying to tell me? What have my experiences, my relationships, my body been trying to tell me? Maybe you have just stepped out of your career because it just is harming you and you don't know what to do now. Maybe it's been a big relationship that was quite toxic and it's just come to an end and things are changing so much. Rather than looking at the negatives, have a look at the gifts and the wisdom and the knowledge that you can extract from that. Why have these things been happening? What do they mean? And the most important thing, what is it that actually lights you up and what makes you feel that fire in your belly and that spark of you return? If you haven't done it yet, have a look at values, your core values. The only way you can set boundaries is by knowing what matters to you, right? So if you can go in and have a look at really what matters, if there was no judgment, if money wasn't an object, if other people's opinions weren't relevant, and you had a blank piece of paper, what would your life look like? What if you could take back the pen and rewrite the ending of your own story rather than giving away authorship to others? How would that look? Do that. Get a blank piece of paper. Feel into it. Have a look at the emotions that brings up. Do you have a fear emotion of, well, I can't do that because that's not me. That's not who I am. That's not what I've been taught. That's just stupid, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy of these things. What are those thoughts and feelings that come up? Where have they come from? Who put them there? And if you write something down, you think, oh my God, that just makes me, I wish I could do that. There might be some, I can't because, and I shouldn't because. But if something gives you a green light in your body and fires you up, that's you. That is your higher self talking. That is your energy flowing in and leading you in the right direction. And when it comes to the 8th of the 8th, you have this energetic space that's expansive and that's actually lending itself to support you through making these changes and stepping into that space. And you know what? There's no hustle that needs to happen there. There's no big tick list of things and effort you need to put in. It's quite the opposite. It's just release. It's acceptance of what has been, releasing what you do not need, and allowing yourself to just sit in a moment of peace and calm. Use your breath if you know how to use your breath. Get yourself grounded and rooted down, and just think about all of these amazing things that your intuition has just gifted you. The thoughts that have come in, the feelings that went with them. How would that feel? How will it feel when you have these things? Because they're there for you. That's how manifestation works. You send out an electrical impulse through thought, and your emotions magnetize it back. There's a little side quest for you to think about. If you have all the vision boards, if you have been trying to manifest and you've been on the courses and you've got the books and all the rest of it, and you still got shit coming into your life from all angles, have a think about that. You can write down affirmations and you can speak them out, and you can have the thoughts of what you would love to have one day in the future. There's a mistake in there for starters. One day in the future. Okay, we'll give you one day in the future. You're not specifying. It's just maybe you'll just keep working towards it and longing for it and sitting in lack, because one day it might happen, because that's what you're thinking about. Or if you're really good and you've got that present tense, this is it, this is what's happening, and yet your emotions are locked into fear and rejection and lack and judgment. Your body is sending out the wrong signal that doesn't match it, and it's never coming to you. So that's the work you need to do. That's the deep inner work that helps heal the wounds and the scars that you don't even know are there, and move you into a space where you are barely surviving to where you are absolutely, truly thriving. That is my wish for you. That is the big piece of work that I've been doing for a long time. And at the moment, especially if you're a woman who's been experiencing some identity loss, some chronic anxiety, complete shutdown, burnout, then you're in the right space, and I'd love to work with you. There's a few ways you can do that. I've got a really cool little ebook out at the moment, which is the perfect starting point. I'll link it in the description. It is going to talk you through where you are now, suss out what's going on, and give you the first gentle steps. And believe me, immediately you're going to find something clicks, and then you can have that gentle, slow road to becoming who you were always meant to be. I've got 60% off that one at the moment. It's $9.99 in Great British pounds, so the best tenner you'll ever spend. You got it forever. So have a look at that. There's a few other things I can do. I've got a really cool self-paced course if you want to go deeper, called From Burnout to Breakthrough. Will help you with all that stuff. I've got a program going for like-minded ladies who want to join me on a little mission, and then my one-to-one spaces are pretty much filling up. I think I've got a couple left if you want to work with me one-to-one. I'll make sure everything's linked. But most importantly, whoever you are, wherever you are, if you can lean into this energy right now, it's magnificent, it's magical, it's spectacular. It is coming through whether you like it or not. You are about to, if you haven't already been experiencing it, have some real shifts in your intuition, in your insight, in your entire life. Everything's getting shook up to the surface. All your beliefs and everything's coming into question, and that's okay. It's a good thing. It's how we're evolving, and it's how we're starting to heal the planet. So make sure you give me a follow. Give me a subscribe, all the things you need to do, get on it, and then you won't miss any updates. And I'm going to be back with some more content across my socials. You'll have some little reels, practical tools to help you. You've got all the deep dive stuff that I'm going to link. And please, please look at your diaries, plan out what's going on, do a bit of research, and work with your energy. It's real. We don't move by magic. Your energy and your body's intelligence. All of the information is there. We just mask it, we repress it, we numb it, we blank it out, and we give our control over to others so that they can tell us what we do, what we need, what we want, what we should be. And it's not okay. You should be whoever you want to be. And they're waiting on the inside for you to peel back the layers and uncover what that looks like. And only you can know that. I'm here to help you on your journey, and I'd love to be part of that. So let's finish where we started, full circle. I incite this meeting to rebellion. Go forth and be a rebel. And I'll see you next time on The Art of Feeling Better.